Hi there, how's it going? I've decided to make a very short video to share with you what we were doing earlier today in a speaking club session. The topic was really exciting. It was about telling stories, and I'm going to show you something. Just wait a second, I'll switch over to my screen share. Well, for starters, we discussed some of the more general things related to the topic of telling stories, like personal experience, this or that one, some more abstract ideas about being collections of stories or using storytelling in class if you're a teacher. But then we moved on to discussing the art of telling stories by Pixar. And so there's a video course which was homework, just some bits and pieces to watch for my students. We very quickly went through some key terms, also looked at some good vocabulary, it's on the right, which can be used to answer some of the questions on the left. We usually do some vocabulary practice too. Well, I've prepared some gapped sentences to try and remember some collocations, some expressions from this slide. You might try it yourselves. Okay, just make a pause, try to restore the phrases, and then check yourselves. Okay, good. And then we just looked very briefly at the story structure, the more typical one, 3 acts suggested by Pixar. There's an example too, from this very famous thing, The 3 Little Pigs. But the main thing happened later. What we did was we moved to my Miror Board, where I prepared something like this. Let me show you. In its unchanged initial state. And my students preferred to use this picture story version. They decided in mini groups which cards to remove so they could see the pictures. And then they could just move them and make some stories. And then they took their time to think together and make up a story, which would follow this structure of exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. They were in different breakout rooms, and I was moving from room to room just to see how it was working with them, what sort of stories they made. And it was really exciting. All the stories had a happy end. I suppose you understand why. Life is not that easy, and it's a good idea sometimes to sugarcoat it, isn't it? Now, let me show you some final stages of the class.
What about that? And, maybe this one. Oh my God, I love it. I just love it.
A nice story, very positive.
So she got so sick and tired when eventually she got so sick and tired of this continuous stress and the situations when she had to multitask. So she decided to get away from it all and to switch from the nastiest weather in Belarus to the most terrific views in somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. Let it be the Philippines. Okay. There, she met a woman going through the same rough patch in her life, and decided to go back home.
So there's this happy end. Then how did they feel back home? Because reality obviously probably just crashed back on them, and they wanted to escape to the Philippines again. Or did they live happily ever after with their families and husbands?
No, we enjoyed our story.
It's funny. Does it have a happy end?
Of course.
Yeah. Life should be sweetened, sugar-coated a little bit sometimes. Yeah. So okay, let's get back together then.
Thanks.
Yeah, so a happy ending in a story with a positive vibe does just that. Yeah, it sugarcoats life a little bit. Right, great.
But the last task is really great. I love it. It's
Maybe we should do it again.
It's to brainstorm the ideas, but
it's really challenging, and you just It needs practice.
Of course. If you like, we can try the story cubes one of the other times.
So why don't you join us next time? I will be really happy to see you in my Advanced Speaking Club classes. Take care and see you around. Bye-bye.